level. I quickly want to introduce myself. In a short while, we will then go on into the business of the day. I'm Dr. Violet Makuku, the Director for the Global Quality Assurance Association, which is fully registered in Ghana with the Ghana Registrar General of Companies and also with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection because of the work that we do. I'm the director and I'm also a consultant, a quality assurance specialist with a strong education background and good in project management, workshop coordination and facilitation. A lot is there, curriculum design, review, and curriculum issues as a specialist, external examiner and supervisor of master's dissertations and PhD thesis. We are available for you. Those are our contact details. Because a lot of you have been with us for most of the time, we will just go along talking about the Global Quality Assurance Association in stages. Right now, I'll just move on quickly to the event that is bringing us together. You should know that you are in the rightful place. And then, honestly, we always go every day to say quality starts with you and quality starts with me. I want to mute. I want to mute my WhatsApp. Okay. So that is what we want to do. And then looking at okay, I'll put on slideshow very soon. I'm sorry. So moving on, we just emphasize that quality starts with you and quality starts with me. But these events are the ones which shape up the quality of the work that we do, the quality of the programs that we have in the institutions, the quality of the employees that we end up having as the graduates. And so this is our logo, and our vision is to enable organizations attain high levels of efficiency and profitability through sustainable quality assurance systems in a bid to create a world where the quality culture thrives. Quality culture should thrive. Thank you, sorry about that. Our mission is also to ensure consistency in the quality of goods and services through knowledge and skills sharing, school innovations, institutional, industry, and organizational assessments, monitoring, evaluation, consultants, and education and awareness, capacity building, so that our people become better. We work with SDGs 4, quality education. We work with SDG 5 and 10 and 17, gender equality, reduced inequalities, and partnerships for goals. That's why you see today we are partnering with the African Union, which is the apex body for the continent. We are partnering also with Dr. Ngwenya and the other colleagues, Wilson, in order to just make sure that out of the partnerships, we bring about quality. Those are our social media handles and our contact details for those who may be interested. We brand seriously because we want to be associated with high quality. We reward, we do very much, and our workshops are well organized too. We make sure that we have people from all over the globe. We have individual and organizational membership, which is very critical for us. Come and join us so that we can work together to do a lot. There are a lot of membership benefits too. When you visit our website, www.gqaa.org, you will see that there are more benefits, but individual benefits, the first thing we do is we give you a personal certificate. Then elevating your personal profile is good. Boosting your own credibility. Again, being a member of the Global Quality Assurance Association helps during application for promotion. It helps you when you are applying for a new job. A plus for things like grant writing. We can write a grant for a grant with you, or we can do it alone, but on the implementation, we want our members to be felt, their importance to be felt through involving them in things that some other people who are not members are not involved in. And hence, your chances of being engaged as a consultant, we do that a lot, getting the opportunity to participate as a guest speaker, keynote speaker, or a panelist during our events, just like what we are doing right now. This is a continental platform that is owned by the GQAA. These are opportunities for personal and institutional or organizational visibility too. The GQAA involves its members first, like I've explained. You can reach us in those. We'll stop here and introduce our first speaker. Please, Sir Nicholas, may you show your face? You are going to be our first speaker. Sir Nicholas is with the African Union Commission in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and he is the person who has been allocated to represent the African Union today in this event. Sir Nicholas is an education and skills development professional at the African Union Commission in the Department of Education, Science, Technology, and Innovation, where he serves as a senior youth advisor. He has over 20 years of experience spanning across functional initiatives and outcomes within education, employment, youth development, and empowerment spaces, with a focus on development and implementation of policies and programs at both national and continental levels, even regional levels. He is very active and also highly dedicated to his work. He has previously served as country director of youth development in Taita Taveta County, Kenya, university lecturer, and a high school teacher. Sir Nicholas has a Master's of Education degree in Educational Communication and Technology from Kenyatta University in Kenya. Sir Nicholas, you are most welcome. You are a co-host and you can share your presentation, or if you are not sharing a presentation, the floor is yours. You are to go ahead. We thank you. We thank our partnership, and that through this platform, a lot more people are going to come on board. But just before he comes on board, we'll talk briefly of how we came to be together. We had the Africa Skills Week in Accra, Ghana, organized by the African Union Commission. And it was highly attended with a lot of people from all over the world. It was good. And for the Global Quality Assurance Association, we know one of the challenges that they cannot do it alone. Dissemination, not everybody in the continent attended. And so we are taking it upon ourselves to now do the dissemination on behalf and together with the African Union Commission, so that the deliberations, the initiatives that they are doing, which are so powerful, can also get through and be disseminated through the GQAA platforms so that they get to many people and positively impact a lot of people to do better. Look at our youth, the way they are going across the oceans and just dying in the oceans. But there's a lot to offer being spearheaded by the African Union Commission. And we know together we can do better. Over to you, Sir Nicholas.
Thank you very much, Dr. Violet, for that generous introduction. Confirm you can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I'm really honored to have been invited to make a few remarks at this webinar on follow-up to the very successful Africa Skills Week. I want to thank the Global Quality Assurance Association for organizing this webinar, and of course also for the invitation to speak. For those who may not have attended the event in Ghana, the Africa Skills Week 2024 was held in Accra, Ghana from the 14th to the 18th of October this year. And it was indeed one of the spotlight activities for the implementation of the African Union Year of Education 2024. You will all be aware that this year was particularly unique for those of us in Africa because the highlight and focus was on education, focusing on how do we transform education ecosystems, how do we transform education in the continent. So as one of the spotlight activities for the Year of Education, the Africa Skills Week aimed at fostering dialogue, collaboration, and innovation in skills development across the continent. And it was convened under the theme Skills and Jobs for the 21st Century, Quality Skills Development for Sustainable Employability in Africa. The event brought together key stakeholders, including policymakers, development partners, educators, industry leaders, and youth representatives to discuss and develop innovative solutions for enhancing skills development and employability across the continent. And of course, we were honored also to have Global Quality Assurance Association participating very, very actively at the event. The outcome was a call to action reflecting the key areas where African Union and its partners can make meaningful progress in transforming its vocational systems, empowering youth, and ensuring the continent is well positioned for the future of work. Both our concept note and roadmap for the African Union theme of the year foreground skills and preparing an African fit for the 21st century jobs. And of course, this was also the theme of the Africa Skills Week. The outcome was a call to action reflecting the key areas where African Union and its partners can make meaningful progress in transforming its TVET systems, and of course I've said this, empowering its youth, and ensuring that the continent is well positioned for the future of work. Of course, the way forward following this very, very successful inaugural event is simple and straightforward. The implementation of the call to action that was the actual outcome of the document and its annex. Its annex was the call to action from the Youth Summit on Skills. The Skills Week was prefaced by a Youth Summit on Skills, and the young people also came up with a call to action. So the entire call to action also incorporates the entire call to action of the Africa Skills Week also incorporates the call to action from the Youth Summit of Skills. Of course, engagement and involvement of youth is very, very critical to the success of what we do, both from a policy perspective and also implementation perspective. I will be posting this call to action in the chat later, so I will not go through it here in detail. I will, however, mention a few salient aspects. Of course, these salient aspects are aspects we know very, very well as stakeholders in education and skills development in the continent, but they do need emphasis. So you will bear with me if I repeat what is very, very well known within the skills development and employment ecosystem. But if we have to move the needle and address the issues that plague TVET ecosystems, and moving forward from the Africa Skills Week, we have to emphasize particularly on the following. Number one is strengthening partnerships for impact. It is important, of course, that we have been invited to partner with the organization and make this presentation. Partnerships, especially with the productive sector in all its facets, is very, very important. And I'm using productive sector here deliberately and moving away a bit from the word private sector that we are very much attuned to. In TVET, we are moving to the terminology productive sector because in private sector, we leave out some government institutions and parastatals that are very, very key in what we do in skills development ecosystems. So when we talk of productive sector, we are including the private sector and also the government institutions that have the mandate to provide some of the outcomes that private sector also provides. So we are saying that when we strengthen partnerships for impact, especially with the productive sector in all its facets, including, among others, in curriculum design, in training of trainers, offering work-based learning opportunities, among the others, this will ultimately help align skills development with the demands of the labor market. We are keen on ensuring that we work together with the private sector. Sorry, I don't know if it's my presentation that is, I didn't have a presentation, so.
Go
Sorry,
ahead. You are not projecting?
No, I'm not projecting, but somebody's
yes,
projecting.
Now I wanted to put can you see the flyer for the event?
Yes, yes. So
yes.
May I proceed?
You can proceed.
Thank you. So I'm saying when we strengthen partnerships for impact, we will, particularly partnership with the productive sector, we will ultimately help align skills development with the demands of the labor market. So this was one of the key outcomes of the Africa Skills Week that we want to take forward beyond Africa Skills Week. How do we work towards strengthening partnerships for impact, particularly partnerships with the productive sector? It is incumbent upon those of us in the TVET ecosystem, including those in the productive sector, to see where we will add value in developing a skilled Africa. Then number two is increase public and private investment in TVET. We must explore and prioritize innovative financing models and mechanisms. TVET is a strategic as well as a smart investment. High-quality TVET that delivers practical and market-relevant skills can enhance employability, boost the productivity of the current and future workforce, and consequently raise living standards, especially for the poor. So it is a no-brainer that we must heavily increase investment in TVET. TVET also serves as a conduit, as a crucial conduit for bridging the gap between innovation and application, playing a key role in technology transfer and diffusion, including efforts for instance, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and the energy sector transformation. So the positive impact of TVET, particularly on the poor and vulnerable segments of society, including the refugees, is very, very well documented. Skills development for the marginalized. We need to do more also in this by increasing public and private investments in TVET. The key word here is invest, invest, invest. It is only then that we can also improve the quality and attractiveness of TVET that are still issues of concern in the TVET landscape. Issue of attractiveness in TVET is something that bogs down those of us who really struggle to advocate for skills development and also lifelong education. The other issue that bogs down TVET ecosystem is the issue of quality. We cannot empower our youth adequately and efficiently if the infrastructure, for instance, is outdated. If the tools and equipment that we use is outdated. If the curriculum that we use is outdated. We have to move with the modern times. For instance, I don't think it will add value in, for instance, automotive course if we teach about how well to make or repair carburetors, and yet these are things that were used in the past century. In the modern century, the vehicles are not running on carburetors. How are we for instance, if I just take as an example automotive engineering, how are we, for instance, integrating the digitalization, because we are moving towards green tech? How are we integrating this in our curriculum, in our skills institutions, so that the graduates are able to be employable and actually fit for the 21st century jobs where we integrate even climate change? Number 3 is leveraging technology, data, and research on skills needs. Partnering with academic institutions and research organizations to study the evolving labor market needs across the continent. This data could help shape educational programs and policies to meet demand. We should have a continental observatory and work towards this. The African Union has started something on this, a continental observatory on skills and jobs. Such an observatory will provide up-to-date and user-friendly information on the current skill trends, gaps, and skill needs anticipation across key sectors of Africa economies towards 21st century jobs. Of course, we need to link more research, data, and TVET systems. This has been a weak link where higher education institutions also need to support us by providing the relevant information so that the policies and programs are evidence-based. This evidence comes from research and data that those in the higher education institutions can support us so that we are able to develop and provide up-to-date and user-friendly information on current skill trends, gaps, and skill needs anticipation across key sectors of Africa economy towards 21st century jobs. So beyond Africa Skills Week, we are also looking forward to the implementation of the Continental TVET Strategy 2025-2034. This was a major input into the Skills Week. The African Union has just revised the Continental TVET Strategy 2025 to 2034. We expect country-level actions across the continent, with member states taking ownership of the key transformative strands in this strategy. And of course, in future commemorative activities, apart from the continental level event, we will be expecting and of course mapping out country level actions for the transformation of TVET so that we can come up with a compendium of promising practices from African Union member states that help towards advancing the transformation of TVET in the continent. Thank you very much for your attention, and I now welcome any questions, if any.
Thank you very much, Sir Nicholas. Okay, this has been very insightful. Yes, it is true. We have reviewed TVET document that can help a lot of institutions to do much better. This is our maiden event. I will just share again in a number of them, which we are going to roll out and have throughout the continent. And every month, we are going to have different speakers. This is our lineup. We went all the way to hunt for Dr. Thamingwenya because of knowledge and skills, as well as the experience that can help us. Sir Wilson Muirwa, Dr. Thamingwenya is from South Africa, and Sir Wilson Muirwa is also from Rwanda. We are going to go around the continent, pick on speakers who can make a difference and make huge contributions that we can use. We are live on Facebook, and after even this event, we can share the link for a lot of people to benefit, because we have pledged to put on to action this dissemination. Now, as Sir Nicholas has opened the floor, let's take in the next 2-3 minutes some questions and so on. Some comments is also good. You can go ahead. Let me activate that. Anybody who would want to say a comment or two can unmute themselves and say. You can also put up your hand so that we can see. Are we okay? Right. Sir Nicholas, so what will happen is we will also encourage them to put everything that they may want in the chat panel, and also the questions and probably the comments, and we see how it goes. We will continue to make sure that we share the Facebook Live link so that those who have missed the session, because a lot of people registered, we have more than 600 registrants, and I know they couldn't attend because of various reasons. And for that matter, we will continue to refer them or to the Facebook. So once again, before I call our next speaker, I just want to do a rundown in the interest of those who were not with us about the Global Quality Assurance Association. We have the membership, which we have talked about, and we also have short courses that are offered online, and we have some workshops that are offered institutionally, you can talk to us and we can help you. Writing of grants, people complain there's no money in organizations, there's no money in institutions. Supervision and marking of masters and dissertations, resource mobilization, research methods, and so on. We just make sure for different cohorts of people, we provide. We go institutional because we know a lot can happen. This was in Tanzania, Sokoine University of Agriculture. This was in Gimpa, Ghana. This was one of our international events. We are practical oriented. And when you deal with us, you know that when you go back, you are able to implement. So for now, I can say we are going to our next speaker and introduce them. We work with the African Union not only in this capacity, but also in terms of the African Continental Qualifications Framework. We are making contributions there in terms of some of the major meetings we also attend in the African Union. This was one of the meetings here in Ghana. This was in Kenya, where I was invited as the director for the Global Quality Assurance Association to present on the qualifications and quality of qualifications frameworks in different countries. So I'll stop here for now. We are invited many times as keynote speakers, and you are welcome to also engage us. I'm going to our next speaker, and our next speaker is Sir Wilson. Oh, sorry, it's not Sir Wilson. It's Dr. Ngwenya. Dr. Dlamini Ngwenya, fondly known as Dr. Dlami, is a South African-born global citizen, a professional, a proud mother of three, a poet, an author. I don't know why she gets time to do all these things, and content curator, a co-presenter of an online show called African Experience on Bold Moves Radio. Dr. Ngwenya is both an academic and practitioner with over 30 years of international work experience in broader agriculture, agri-food systems, education, and health sector, and has done in-person assignments in over 55 countries and beyond. Dr. Ngwenya's profile is long, but you can see the reason why we brought her on board. We want to share with the youth, we want to share with the unemployed in order to make sure that they can have another life projection. They can see other possibilities in life. And these are the kind of speakers who we are going to have, who are going to help us change the mindsets of many in order for us to see to it that the Africa Skills Week, this initiative from the African Union Commission, which we are partnering with in terms of dissemination and making sure that there's impact, high impact and positive impact happens. So over to you, Dr. Ngwenya. We welcome you, and we know that we are going to give us valuable insights. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel very excited to be invited and, speaking after, so it's Nicholas from, the African Union. I think it's a very good thing. I'll just go straight, to the talk for today. I name it, perfect opportunities for innovative agripreneurship beyond farming. I will explain what I mean by this. Okay, I think, you have already indicated who I am. I'm not going to go into details, but I think these numbers, matters 32 years work experience, 25 in the global, agri-food system. Like you said, I've worked in many countries, but on the African continent, I have done, I work in person, in about 25 countries in the continent. But I also specialize in facilitation of different engagements. And Sir Nicholas, I have done some work for the African Union as well. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit from the agriculture point of view, because this is the sector that I know the most, the sector that I have done a lot of work in. I've also worked in the education space because I'm a teacher by profession, but also worked in the health sectors. But agriculture is the sector that pays my bills. We know that the role of agriculture as a driver for economic growth in Africa cannot be underestimated. And I don't want to go into academic, a narrative of, statistics, and we know that. However, and when Dr. Violet is talking about how do we change our perceptions, how do we change our narratives, the question that I'm asking, or maybe the point that I'm making here, is that while agriculture is the backbone of our economy, we normally think of farming and primary production. Every time we hear agriculture, all our minds goes to farming and primary production. I get those questions as well. I say I've worked in the agricultural sector for over 25 years. The follow-up question that people ask me, are you a farmer? Then I tell them, no, I'm not. Yeah, but what are you doing in agriculture when you are not a farmer? I am not a farmer. I don't own a piece of land, but believe you me, for the past 25 years, I make my living out of agriculture. Then the question is how? Okay. And I think these are some of the things as educators and all that we need to think about when we're talking about, these skill sets and all that. I'll just tell you a quick story. I always tell people I came into the agricultural sector through the back door. Because if you would have asked me 30 years ago, or maybe when I started working, if I would have found myself working in agriculture, my answer would have been a big no. Because also for me back then, I always associated agriculture with something else. I'm not interested in the sector and all that. I would have said a big no. Now, almost 25 years later, I'm advocating for everything and anything in the sector. But the question is how? How did I come into the agricultural sector? Background, I studied nutrition back then, and I came into agriculture through the back door. That is a story for another day. But what am I doing? You can see, some pictures. I found my niche in the agricultural sector through many different pathways beyond primary production. I studied, I'm good in, communications. I've taught, communications and all that. And through my communication skills, I found a niche in an agricultural sector. And I'm sharing this because we have educators that are sitting here. How do we encourage, a young person, an entrepreneur, to get into a certain sector, through the back door, if I were to put it that way? Sir Nicholas spoke about, we have to bring, research into use and all that. Let me tell you something. Most researchers, especially the hardcore researchers, they are very bad in communicating what they do to people who are not researchers. I found that niche and said, I will help them communicate what they do in the manner that, that makes sense. And I earn a living out of that. I am able to actually even take things like, research outcomes and create, theater and all that, and create, different ways in which, you can actually communicate, and they pay me for that. Okay. Sir Nicholas, and I will make reference to you as well. African Union, UN and all that, they deal with a lot of, smart multi-stakeholders and all that. In most cases, when people of different, school of thought come together, they need to negotiate interest. They need to talk to one another. And when they come together, they always need a facilitator. Then I saw a niche and I perfected my skill in that. That's how I earn my living. Yeah. So you can see at the end of the day, I've been managing, to service, the agricultural sector through different pathways beyond, just primary production. Okay. So what I'm advocating here, how do we go beyond the tunnel view of understanding agriculture beyond primary production? And if we do that, then we are able to attract many young people and people who, under normal circumstances, will not see themselves, playing a role in this sector. I always say we need to understand that not everybody is cut for farming. The mistake that we normally do is that, okay, fine, agriculture is very important on the continent. Every young person who's unemployed, we want to push them into agriculture. But we need to understand that agriculture is a business. That is why not everybody is cut for farming. There are those people who have a potential to become, farmers, and they do that. And yes, is the heart of the heart of, the whole, agriculture, primary production. But sometimes we lose opportunities of young people who, under normal circumstances, they do not have the talent, to run farming as a business. And we say, okay, fine, you can't work in agriculture. No, we have to understand the talents that different people or young people have, and we can still push them into this beautiful agricultural sector, like in my case, but not necessarily beyond, not necessarily through farming. There are those who can make it through farming or primary production, but there are many other possibilities that we can channel young people into the sector and they make a living out of it. And for me, this is what I call, this agripreneurship and the radical shift of agripreneurship. But what does it mean for us as educators? Okay, like I say, not everybody is cut for farming, but everyone can have a role or a stake in the agri-food systems. Yeah. So when you're working with young people, you need to understand their passion, you need to understand what they are good at, and be able to advise them through the different, pathways. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, oh, yeah, but I only know agriculture as farming. What other opportunities are there? Don't worry, I'm actually getting to that. Yeah. Okay, so I've titled my presentation, Perfect Opportunities for Innovative Agripreneurship Beyond Farming. The agripreneurship, it's still entrepreneurship within the agricultural sector or agri-food systems, but yes, beyond farming. I will be presenting to you this perfect concept, and this perfect concept, it's something that I have lived in the past 25 years. My past 25 years of working in the agricultural sector, I'm doing what I call the perfect job. The perfect job, not because it's perfect, but the perfect job because I found, different pathways to service the sector. I will also give, maybe a few examples of how this radical entrepreneurship could look like along the perfect continuum, and perhaps provide, some of the links for additional resource information that might be useful and opportunities that you can actually harness. Okay. Like I said, I'll just quickly go through this. Like I said, there are a lot of opportunities, what I call the perfect opportunities in the agricultural sector. But yes, there is also a knowledge gap. There's a broken pipe. Yet, and you find that the young people do not, see these opportunities. And remember, here I'm talking about opportunities beyond, primary production. I'm going to very, very quickly run through these slides, very quick. There are a lot of possibilities to enter the agricultural sector through the policy pathway. I'll make reference again, to say Nicholas. Sir Nicholas is working for the African Union Commission. The African Union Commission, it's a policy engine in Africa. Then you have those policy engine, your United Nations and all that. And they also have an agricultural component. Yeah. And I know they offer, internships, and they also offer, job opportunities that somebody can actually look into and get employment. Education, it's another thing. I'm going to run through things very quickly. Education, training, and research. This is the pathway that I also came into the agricultural sector, but I also work with the policymakers and so research. You have mentioned that is another pathway that people can come into the agricultural sector. Farming, that everybody think agriculture is all about, but we also have the finance, element that young people can come into the sector through. Extension and advisory services, I love that because that's what I do also in the sector. Communications, knowledge management, monitoring and evaluation, and many other things, that has to do with, your social media and, here and all that. Last but not least, we have, technologies, ICTs, trades and markets. So you can see that you look at agriculture beyond just primary production. It offers, that perfect opportunities that we need to look at as we talk to our young people. You will see here that this perfect concept, it's slightly different from our normal value chains. So in most cases, we talk about agricultural value chain, where you start from production and then you add value and all that. So this perfect continuum, it's more like your vertical, vertical, expansion of how creative we can be to support, our young people in order for us to inspire entrepreneurship, but also cut down, the levels of unemployment that we're seeing on the continent and take advantage of us being a young continent. We need a radical shift in how we understand, different sectors. The beauty is that one can also use this perfect concept in other sectors as well, in health, in mining, and other sectors, but I apply it in the agricultural sector. These opportunities exist at global level, continental level, sub-regional level, and national level. I found my niche and I'm working, across these levels, and earning my living around that. What are some of the trends that I see as I continue to service the sector along the perfect continuum, traveling and doing this and that? There are some trends that I see in terms of opportunities, and I'm going to just pick a few radical shifts that I have seen so that we can actually inspire, innovations and get us to think a little bit beyond what we know or beyond the norms. We know that, farming, definitely it's one of the pathways that people get into the sector. So every time young people, agriculture, farming, it is. But we also see that technologies, the world of technologies is very big. We know young people are techno-savvy and all that. So there are a lot of, innovations around, technologies that brings young people into the sector. Education, like I said, so I'm actually sharing these opportunities in terms of, priority. Communications as well, extension, as I've indicated, research, and the policy space. As I conclude, my talk, I just want to give a few examples of, those radical, ideas that I see and I get, confronted with, and I see that people are really, really innovating. And if the continent will actually proceed in that way, we can actually address a lot of, things on the continent. I want to give you examples of, some of the things that that people are finding niche in the education space. Here in South Africa, I work with this young lady. She's not so young anymore, but she found a niche in the training where she provides accredited food hygiene and safety. So everybody that produce food, they need to know about the food safety standards. Okay, she studied the dietitian and she found that niche. She's making a living out of providing the training around the food safety and providing, accreditation and all that. And yet she's doing something within the agri-food space, not necessarily as a farm, but she provides a service within the sector. I want to stay a little bit on training. And I know we have people from TVET colleges and things like that. There are a lot of what we call the MOOCs, the massive open online courses, which young people and adults can actually get access to improve, your knowledge base. Because if you want to provide training, you need to know something. You need to be 5 steps ahead of the people that you are training. These materials are readily available. And what is different between, using your chat, these online platforms, the artificial intelligence and whatnot, it's when you take, this massive line, you also get, what we call the micro-credential. You can be able to get a certificate for you to be able to show that, you have received, this kind of training. I think there's somebody who's writing on my on my slides. Reino is busy writing on my slides. I don't know. Okay, so some of the trends that we see are in the value addition. I just want to show you something. I want you to guess what this is. Okay. I want you to just go on your chat. I'm going to show you a picture. And I just want you to guess what product do you think this is coming from? Are you able to see that? Go to your chat box. I want to see if you can guess where this one is coming from. And I'm sharing this because it shows how innovativeness can actually take us far. Doc, I'm not able to see the charts. If you are able to see the charts, let me know what people are thinking this one is coming from.
Colleagues, can you write in the chat panel?
Just write to the
chat panel.
Yes, what do you think this one is? Where it's an energy bar, you can see it's nicely packed. It's a nutrition pack, jumbo pack, starter pack, and all that. What do you think this one could be coming from?
What I can say is the nicely packaging. It's attractive. What else?
It's very interesting. But so we see a lot of trends in terms of
biscuits. When we write in the chat panel, good people, I see somebody says biscuits. Another one says the recycled packing paper. Please, can we write in the chat panel what makes the product inside? Chocolate, plastics and food, chocolate. But maybe I think she wants the cocoa. She wants the raw materials, which is making the product inside the packaging.
What is that?
That's what she's.
What is that raw? Yeah. What is that raw material that is packed in this package nicely?
It says what farming products.
Yeah, but what is it?
Mainly saying cocoa. Bananas, banana fiber.
Okay, but wait until you see where this is coming from. And the reason why, and the reason why I'm sharing this, it's if we want young people, we need to just think radically. We need to think, because sometimes when we focus on agriculture and farming, which is a heart of the production system, right? We hide behind the fact that no, because I don't have land, then I won't be able to do this. But when you look at the agro processing and value addition, even if somebody doesn't have land, they can still be able to participate in the sector. Wait for this. You'll see what I'm going to show you. You'll be shocked. That's Mopani worms. That is Mopani worms. So there's a young lady here in South Africa from the northern part. She grew up eating Mopani worms, and she had to think, how do I add value into these Mopani worms? It's amazing the things that she does with Mopani worms. Hello, is Mopani energy bar? And I'm saying this is a young African lady, somebody who looks like me and you. If somebody like this can go beyond and do this, what is stopping us? Yeah. And it only needs that radical thinking that will enable us to shift and see how we can actually get young people into this. Yeah, Mopani, it's literal Mopani words. Yeah. Very quick. So here, I'm just going to give another example. This is more at the university level and all that. Wool value chain, yeah? Or if you look on the right-hand side, these are toys and things that are actually coming from the wool value chain, which a university is doing, is a community-based, approach and all that, and so you don't have to have, you don't have to have, land, but you can be creative and see how do you add value to some of these things. I'm going very fast. Another trend that we are seeing is the issue of, mechanization. And I think this will be very important because we have a lot of people who are in the TVET colleges and stuff. Mechanization is becoming a very, very lucrative opportunity for entrepreneurship. Just last week, I was in Rome with the Food and Agriculture Organization, where they were sharing a lot of interesting things around sustainable mechanization. And I'm going to share a little bit also more information around that. There are a lot of opportunities around the production tools. So a young person does not necessarily have to be a farmer, but he can add, see entrepreneurship in terms of mechanization tools, hiring services, post-harvest, tools, value addition, mechanization, transportation, and many other things. You can see, and here I've put, some resource material that is readily available, which people can actually use to inspire young people to think beyond, to have, this creative mind. Another one, which it's more or less, I'm getting to the end, the issues around, graphic, facilitation. You might have young people who are good in drawing and art, and you don't see how you can channel them to an agricultural sector. I'm working with young people who are very good. At the moment, we see a lot of trends. When there are events, we want somebody who's actually recording, the event as it's unfolding, and people make a living out of that. You can see this is a young guy from Uganda that I'm working with. Even next week, I'm taking him with, to Kenya, where there's a big conference that I'm facilitating, and he will be summarizing the things that are happening in the conference through, these graphic, facilitation or recording. So these are things that are not in the mainstream, but it is opportunities that people can look at. And lastly, I mean, we know in terms of technologies and all that, this is also a young man that I work with, from Nigeria. He's more using, the drone technologies. We see a lot of innovations around, iCows, and these are young people who are using these things. We see a lot of, aggregators and things like that, They are making a living within the agricultural sector beyond, primary production. So this is my last slide. What I'm advocating for is that when we look at things from the perfect contorno, we have a greater potential to open up radical entrepreneurial possibilities for young people. Farming, it's important. We have to farm, but not everybody is cut for farming. Not everybody will make it as a farmer or the one who's doing primary production. But then how do we then open up, different possibilities and opportunities for young people to make a living within the agri-food system beyond farming? The question I'm asking, what is then the role of training institutions? What is it that we need to do as educators to think differently and be able to inspire young people to go beyond our imaginations? I am the living proof where I'm making a living within the agricultural sector, and I always say I came through the back door. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is interesting. Yes, I think we have seen the diversity, and I think within the teaching and learning space, where we are releasing lots and lots of graduates into the streets, part of it is that you now see the importance of career guidance. Like Dr. Fami, thank you for this expose, because you went from left to right, up and down, back and forth, trying to show us that there are a lot of opportunities, even in marketing. That is another area too. If they just want to go by marketing some of these products, whatever she has given to us, again, we can see the diversity of what people can do. But upon graduation, somebody is just saying, I did this. An open mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset is what we want. So part of what we are going to do in our next episode is, of course, going to look at how can we change the mindset of our students and those who are already out as graduates, hoping that a lot of them would be able to join us. But I'm sure and very sure that right now we are live on Facebook, and whoever was not able to join us, we just checked, our registration went up to 1,000, and we are going to reach to those people first, pushing them onto our Facebook so that they can see these presentations, and definitely we are going to touch lives. Colleagues, we will go to our last presenter, but before we go there, let me check where I was so that in terms of projection, everything will go on smoothly. Right. So very quickly, we are going to look at some of the components that we deal with again at the GQAA. In summary, in a minute or two, then we come back to our third presenter, and also the floor will be open for questions and comments. So we ended here. We work with national and international organizations, regulatory bodies, and so on. This is the South African team. Here is the Council for Higher Education for South Africa, the Southern Africa Qualifications Authority, SAQA. Here is the Director for Quality Assurance for Peninsula University of Technology, because with quality assurance is very, very important, and it can take us far. We were in Cape Peninsula, the registrar, deputy registrar, and then the director for quality assurance for UNISA. This was yet another conference, a large one, where we were sharing knowledge and skills because people are concerned. The Global Quality Assurance Association also participates in international events where normally we are called as speakers. Awards. This is a lifetime award for this year that was given to Dr. Makuku. I'm the one This is another one. And we participate in a lot of conferences in order to make sure that we also have opportunities to share, opportunities to work with many, opportunities to disseminate. I think this was in Tanzania, Moshi. This is the National Education Week in Ghana. It's currently going on. This was last year's, and I just devoted myself to working with the African Union this day, despite the National Education Week in Ghana. We work with the ministries. This is the Kenya National Authority. This is the Swatini, so for higher education, ISHEC, which we helped to set up, helped in training them. And there are a lot of TVET institutions here, TVET institutions, which we still hope to work with. And we still feel we will make an impact. Entrepreneurship. This is the University of Ilorin, where the Global Quality Assurance Association, here am I, this is the Vice Chancellor, was a key player with others in order to strengthen entrepreneurship, get real in the institution. And they've moved now with different companies. We need not to shy away from partnering and working to look for partnerships. I'm now going to introduce to you our last speaker. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that we are very much excited to work with the African Union in this initiative of disseminating the Africa Skills Week outcomes. It's important because it cannot end in 4 walls. Somebody should take it upon themselves to help the African Union with the dissemination, the hope of mindset change, the hope of making impactful changes in people's lives, those who are going over across the oceans, those who feel they are helpless, those who feel they can't do anything else in their lives. And some of these things, you can start them with no single cent. Look at what Dr. Flami Ngwenya showed us. Those worms, it's their time. When it's their time, you just go to the forest, you harvest them, dry them, come back, and then you start selling them. You can now start also thinking of packaging them and pay for the packaging, but you have started from nowhere with no single cent, but just going to the bush. Do we think of the different wild fruits that lay in our countries, which we just say they are there to be eaten? Them, use them nicely, then start selling them to get big monies. Here next, we started from Ethiopia, we moved to South Africa, and now we are in Rwanda. We are in Rwanda with Sir Wilson Muhirwa. Sir Wilson is the co-founder of Purpose Rwanda, an organization dedicated to fostering sustainability. You see why we picked him as well. And socio-economic transformation in Rwanda by empowering a purposeful and positive youth. Currently, he works with the Challenges Rwanda, a multinational social enterprise that supports medium and small-scale enterprises. Sir William has also worked with several organizations in supporting youth entrepreneurship, including African Entrepreneurs Collective, an American organization committed to providing business development services across Africa. I could go on and on. Let me end with this. In addition to his work in business, Sir Wilson is a scholarly person who is currently pursuing his master's in international business management. I can go on and on, but in the interest of time, we want to take from him the next episodes. We still want people who have got rich experience, which can change the mindsets of our graduates who are roaming the streets, the mindsets of our students who are yet to be the graduates, that they are not all looking for employment upon graduation. They are just eager to start something of their own. They can, in the end, employ more people. I don't want to go by employability. It's a balance between employability, entrepreneurship, and business establishment skills. This is what we are talking about. Then in the African Union concept note, it's there, it's stated that we need to go the entrepreneurship way. The skills are parting on business establishment skills and employability at a smaller scale, because we don't want people to go back again to the old thought that they should all look for jobs. We have Dr. Ngwenya. You can put any questions in the chat panel. We now give Sir Wilson. You are most welcome. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Oh, great. Good afternoon, good morning, have a great day, everybody, where you're from. My name is Wilson Muhiru, as it has been said. Thank you so much, Dr. Violet, for this platform. It's a great honor. It's also amazing. Also, I think there are really big shoes that I'm stepping in, being able to speak after Dr. Ngwenya and Mr. Nicholas, with amazing experience, so many years of experience. I'm really honored and humbled to share the same platform. I will try to bring in a touch of my personal experience, and then also share a few things on the topic that we are discussing on today. Of course, we are talking about promoting quality assurance in entrepreneurial and job creation, skills for social, economic, and development transformation. Rwanda has been doing some work. We have been doing some work. For some of you who might know the history, about 30 years ago, we faced a very tragic history where we had genocide that claimed about so many lives in Rwanda. About 1 million people died, killed by the fellow Rwandese. But from since we have been graced to have visionary leadership that has really been helping our nation. And now Rwanda is known as, city of Kigali is known as one of the cleanest cities in Africa. We are having one of the safest economy, one of the fast growing economy with about 80% annual growth. We are having a lot of people venturing into agriculture. Of course, given the background we are coming from, we are a small economy compared to our neighbors like Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya, comparatively very small with about 13 billion economy. But we are trying, we are coming up. So talking about skills development and entrepreneurship, what should we think about? Mm-hmm. So there's so much to be done in terms of skills development. My background is from coaching and training in entrepreneurship. I have been graced to work with one organization. Of course, as it is said, I'm a co-founder of Purpose Rwanda, but allow me to focus on one organization called Inkomoko. I have been able to work with an organization called Inkomoko, where we have been able to support micro, small, and medium enterprises, SMEs, basically, and we focused so much to support refugees.
Don't forget to move your slides.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just giving a background, and I will go. Maybe I will talk about three slides for the sake of time. So back to what I was saying. I have been graced to work with an organization called Inkomoko, where we are able to support vulnerable communities, supporting refugees. We have refugees coming in Rwanda from basically Congo and also Burundi because of the political insurgents that happened in these neighboring nations. Then such a people arriving here with nothing had to come up with something. And this is a learning to us all. When you find a life challenging you, it's hard to find employment. there is a possibility to use what surrounds you to create a business. You know, we always say that when you identify a problem in your community, whichever problem, as Dr. Ngwenya has been saying, you have been testing these good treats, and now you can be innovative and create a very lucrative business that will benefit you, but also earn you a living and also render other people opportunities to have what they like. So these people really, we customize the content, you know. For example, for those of you who are from business background, you understand what we call business model canvas. You know, we have been able to put this technical document so simple that micro business, someone who is selling something below $1, you know,
Hello.
can be able to understand
Hello.
and be
Yes,
able
yes. Siyaphila, siyaphila.
to see. I think you need to mute.
Yeah.
Thank you. So these elderly mom refugees who are new in an economy where they have not been used to live, they were able to create businesses. So young people, fellow people, it's possible to create a business. It's possible to employ your skills. You know, we don't want to really be employed with a white collar job. Instead, let us deploy ourselves. Let us try to use our mind, try to use our skills, scan the environment, and come up with business. So one of the slides that we have here is about the objective of African Skills Week, that really focused on skills development, putting an emphasis on employability and entrepreneurship. Touching a little bit here, we have been heard, or we have heard from different development partners who encourage employment. Let me tell you guys, employment is good. Because it is good to join an organization, understand structures, ways of management, how organization is structured, really good. But if you don't learn to test your ideas, we will not be able to create product that suits African culture, tastes, and preferences. So the call that we are discussing here is to tell African people that we have massive arable land. Tourism is so much possible here. There's so much opportunities in the transportation. There's so much opportunities using technology, you know, design. For those of you who understand Adobe, Illustrator, even you can design with Canva. You know, these are our online free platforms that you can use to test your skills. So deploy yourself. Don't allow yourself to be someone said that there is nobody who's going to pay you enough. Maybe they can support you to have your next bill, but if you need really to grow and be rich, try employment, try employing yourself, try to create a business. It's something that is really possible. So something that will change African continent is us identifying the gaps that are on the market, as Doctor has been saying, and deploying ourselves to serve our people, because we understand their culture, because we understand their needs, because we understand the challenges they are facing, and we live this challenge every day. So if not us, then who? You know, these development partners are really, we appreciate them. We thank them because there is direct investment. But again, when Africa shall grow to a level of also being able to invest, to directly invest on other continents, are we going to only be recipients, or we are also going to give someday? You know, you can see the shift of what is happening around the globe. So it's up to us to take the charge and really change a lot in our space. And there's also things around knowledge sharing. You know, sometimes we take for granted the things we know, our experience, our environment. I've been graced enough of recent, I've been with people who came from Gambia and Liberia. Okay. And these guys were here to be trained in M&E and project management and gender mainstreaming. I was so much impressed when they came here to learn and how they really wanted to come in Rwanda to to understand what our president is doing, President Kagame, and they were really here to test and see what is happening around Rwanda. So sharing our knowledge, but also our experience and our diversity. This can still apply in case of Ghana, in case of Zambia, in case of South Africa, and any other nation. So bridging the skill sharing with our personal touch and experience is very fundamental. Number two is ability to be able to discuss policy, to have a dialogue. We have African agenda, we have national agenda. All these.
Your slides
Yes,
are not moving.
I'm still on one slide. Yes, I'm talking.
But it's the first one. I think you need to move. We can't see.
Can you see my slides now?
We are seeing the first one. The very first one.
Let me see what is happening.
Yeah.
Or if you can maybe share from your end. Let me stop sharing so that maybe you will share from your end.
Can you try to move? Okay, can you try to move them so that we see from your end?
That's what I was doing.
Yeah,
what are you?
They are not
seeing?
moving. I don't know if I'm the only one.
What are you currently seeing?
We are seeing you still on the first page.
Okay. I don't know why. Let me see.
Okay. Did I?
Maybe you should stop sharing and
that's what I'm trying to do. Just a second. Let me fix this.
What you can do is you can let me check also if I can. What I have here is a PDF, and so it will be a problem sharing it. I can try.
Okay. Let me see.
Yes, try to move and let's see.
Are they moving now?
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
So
yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I was basically on this slide, which is my third slide, talking about policy dialogue. We have agenda like African Union Agenda 2063. We have also national agendas, and sometimes we need to share these things, brainstorm, share good practices, ask questions. Also, sometimes we do policy reviews, inform our leaders of maybe some oversights they might have. If we don't have these platforms really to share, like African Skills Week, and if we don't open ourselves to share the little that we know and open also to learn, a lot is not going to change. So it's up to us African young people and also other people in different age categories to take this on and be able to share from our learnings. So, but there are pressing issues around us, maybe from young people. We have issues like unemployment. In Rwanda, data says, and these are World Bank data, they say about 22.8 in Rwanda are unemployed. I also saw it on internet. I'm not sure if really this information is that accurate, that Kenya has got around 17.3 unemployment. So these are issues where we cannot rely only on employment. It's not possible. We have to also check the business area. And there is so much to be done along the value chain of different sectors and different spaces. We have to take this on. And what we have as an opportunity, we have the youngest continent. For example, our neighboring country, Uganda, is the second in terms of population, where their median age is around 25 years. And you know, these are young people. They have long time to live. So extending opportunity, encouraging government to have private-public partnership, also having platforms like incubation centers. For example, in Rwanda, we have what we call Fab Lab, where youth are able to go out there and test the 3D printing. You know, all these are opportunities of emerging markets and emerging technologies and emerging opportunities. So we have ready to take this opportunity. For some who will be interested in taking jobs, of course, we have to invest in skills. One of my area of experience is being a trainer and a coach. I've been able to facilitate different programs, working with different career centers across universities in Rwanda. And this you see that there is a growing need, a need from young people to understand basic skills like writing their CVs, skills like how do I prepare for interviews, skills like how do I interact with an employer, what kind of impression should I give, if I'm going for an interview, what kind of clothing should I put on. All these things are things that some people might take for granted, but our young people are losing opportunities because we are not taking interest in these simple skills, you know. So they are of course sophisticated skills, but they are also simple interpersonal skills that we need to develop for our young people as an entry that will allow them to have jobs, and then they can accumulate money, and beyond the money, they will be able to employ themselves from the capital they will have saved at some point. And we also have to teach our people how to save. It is very important. Sometimes opportunities come and people have not really taken the time to save any penny. And for example, they lack transport. They cannot afford a mobile phone. They cannot buy themselves internet bundles. And these are simple things that other people are free to have. But around our African continent, people don't have these things, you know. Very, very important. We should pay a lot of consideration on these things. So, trying to move to my next slide. So, when you try to see where opportunities lie around Africa, you see, for example, our Rwanda small economy with limited area, of course. You know, about 26.3 kilometers squared. And we have a GDP per capita of around $850. And these are estimations. You know, there are people who are way below and people who are way higher than that. But white-collar jobs are employing our young people only 25%, you know. But people who are trying to afford employment, they are about 50%. You still see that entrepreneurship has got a lot of opportunities than even jobs. The jobs we have on the labor market cannot observe everyone that we have that is seeking for a job. You know, same applies to Uganda. About 20% are employed in white-collar jobs, and 55% are into self-employment. Same thing to Kenya. Same thing to Tanzania. You know, the way to go is to go for entrepreneurship. We have to teach our people how to create jobs. We have to teach our people how to identify opportunities. We have to share successful stories of what other people have done on the continent, or what they are doing, or what they aspire to do, so that we can really make a call for people to take interest. So where to focus? The focus should be in developing technical skills, the needed skills. For example, in science, we need to teach our people how to think, you know, to take interest in what people used to call hard courses, mathematics, technology, engineering, all these STEM courses. It's of great interest, and they have got high demand and high pay on global market. There is also TVET, technical and vocational educational training, where these things provide opportunity. For example, if someone has been trained in the culinary services, they can immediately start a restaurant without seeking for a job.
Exactly.
All these things are quick things that can create opportunities, change lives, help people to earn a living, and at the end of the day, be able to pull our African continent out of poverty. Also, there are high employing jobs. For example, we have youth in Rwanda who are having freelancing jobs. I have one friend of mine who was being paid around 5,000 USD freelancing. He was not given even a permanent contract. It was a temporal employment, but this money in our economy, only director, not even the ministers earn that, according to what we have as a formal salary. But if someone can get 5K because they understand big data, AI, programming,
Yes.
software development, these are skills that we need. If people want to be employed, let them be oriented in areas where they can be paid higher. This is what we are advocating for, and also giving people practical, tangible entrepreneurship skills that are relevant with local market. For example, every economy will have its context. In Rwanda, there is what we call doing business in Rwanda. We have what we call Rwanda Development Board, RDB, where every company is registered. If you come in Rwanda and you are either a national or not a national, you can register your business in 5 hours, but you need to use IT. So people being exposed to these technologies that people are using, understand for example, doing business framework, tax arrangement that are in different economies. All these things are things that as nationals in Rwanda, we understand these things. But how about international investors who are coming here? They need to be directed. These are skills that need to be developed, and we can develop. They are there, they are available, and I understand that every nation will have its own context and maybe the procedure of handling business registration and operation and everything. So we have great interest as African people. Colonial masters have separated us. And if you look around, for example, if I look the people we have in Burundi, which is our neighbor in South, the people we have in Tanzania, Uganda, we are same people. We share almost everything. Even when they speak, we can understand. I understand that even in West Africa, if you look neighboring countries, you see these are same people. So we have also to have mobility of businesses, mobility of investment, people working together, cross-border trades happening, and sharing skills on how we can create a lucrative or profitable business in this area. So maybe to conclude, so that we can have maybe a ton of questions, what are we calling for? And thank you so much, Dr. Violet, for really creating this platform.
Thank you.
It is really an honor to be able to share this information with our audience here. So we need to enhance skills for development and socio-economic transformation of Africa. I'm not a firm believer of sustainability, and I believe I might be sharing this with Violet. We need transformation, not sustainability. We need our youth to be transformed, lives to be transformed. We need to see a tangible change, not to hang up on something that can fall anytime. Sustainability is good, but if we can have transformation, it will be even better. So we need to promote agribusiness innovation, like use of technologies. We have so much that is happening in Rwanda. For example, we have drone technology, which we call Zipline. I understand that this has been also extended in Kenya. It was a prototype that was tested in Rwanda to supply medical medical supplies that were needed in remote areas where cars were not able to access. And these drones are now being used in agriculture. So if we can teach our people on how maybe to irrigate or to spray different pesticide using drone technology, all these things are things that we need. Post and medium technology industries, we are not there to have this high technology automated industries like Europe, but we can use medium technologies to do business. For example, in Rwanda, as I said, we have something they call Fab Lab, where people can go there and test 3D printing. Also, we have to support service sector. If we are not able, for example, to sell hard product, like tangible products, we can sell services. For example, in Rwanda, we have what we call Irembo. On Irembo is like a door for entrance. So it is a Rwandan name called Irembo. This is an e-government system where when you go to this system, you can get every services that the government offer. So teaching people, for example, to create a business that will support rural or no-literacy people to be able to access these services, because for themselves, they cannot access this e-governance system and be able to afford services. Enhanced TVET programs really have hands-on skills for our people. Sometimes people graduate from university, but at the point of their graduation, if you ask them what they know how to do, they have only had from theories. They have no hands-on skills. So we need TVET programs to provide hands-on skills. Encourage IT use of social media for marketing and promotion of what we do, and then have an integrated traditional and modern technologies. Lastly, being able to create a job-ready ecosystem. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much that we can talk about, but the one thing is clear, and that one thing is our willingness to change our continent. My call today is for us to work together, to bring transformation, to build Africa we want. Together we will win. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Sir Wilson. It has been very good. You can stop sharing. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our three people, Sir Auma from African Union Commission, Dr. Ngwenya from South Africa, and now Sir Wilson from Rwanda. Let's put up our hands for comments, and also we can write in the chat panel if we have some questions for them. Generally, we are glad that the Global Quality Assurance Association has been able to bring on board these people with the knowledge, skills, and information that they are prepared to share with us. I think we need to give them some rounds of applause. If we go where it is React, you can actually go to where we have the boxes and punch that. You can say a sharp, you can say whatever. We love what they've done for us. And so it has been really good and highly informative. They talked about lack of information, because even the Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And they've demonstrated that some of the people who are saying they don't have jobs, they don't have a good life, it's not necessarily because they can't get a good life, but they need somebody to shake them, somebody to share something valuable with them. And what Sir Wilson was talking about, that in Rwanda we have that where the youth can go and develop. Some youth don't even know they've graduated with good grades in their STEM subjects, in their STEM disciplines. But who is disseminating the information about this Fab Lab? Who is going to them to tell them what is available? Are there any platforms like this Global Quality Assurance Association platform where we are working with partners to make sure people get the knowledge and information as well as the skills to move on, to wake up and see what the world can offer? It can only come through being excited and incited and being given the knowledge and skills that we are having from our colleagues. This is going to be a monthly event where we will still continue to work with the African Union, and we will have different presenters. If you have something that can help our unemployed people, our unemployed graduates, our students who are still on our TVET institutions, please, you can write to us, Mr. Ro. You can put the contact details in the chat panel. You can get hold of us so that you come on board the next cohort of those people who are going to be presenting to us. Please, if you have anything to say, the floor is open.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Yes.
I'm Anthony Odek from Nairobi. I want to thank the presenters, starting by Sir Nicholas. He raised a very important point on the need to invest on the infrastructure. You can see, even as the second presenter talked about agriculture, we are in a continent where governments are even taxing seeds, and government is taxing even production of food, and this is making it difficult for young producers. Again, if we are not investing on infrastructure, on the right technology, we cannot do agriculture using the old mentality. The president of Uganda has been talking so much about adding value. I do not know to what extent are we adding value to our agricultural products. Take, for example, the pictures that you are seeing. For me to see some of those things, I normally go to LTU shop, and LTU shop normally import almost everything from other continents. So how do we create jobs for our young people? How do we make the STEM-related skills valuable to our young people? What is our budget? We are in a continent where our biggest budget goes into military. For example, in Kenya, we spend over 100 billion shillings in military. Of course, not sure whether we are fighting with another country or not. So resources, investment into the right technology will tap into the talents of these young people, and they're able to create jobs. This is what we keep on talking to our students, that you are able to start something. But the Kenya Revenue Authority, for example, is it willing to give young people time, space to develop their skills, so that they can their businesses can grow for those who are in the entrepreneurial skills, and the creative industry that has really grown in this country and in Tanzania, it has really grown. How can it be supported? In summary, my view is that I would agree with the President Obama, who encouraged us to invest more on the social movements that can encourage government to spend more, to budget more on these creative industries and on the STEM-related skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission. Dr. Ngwenya and Sir Ouma and Sir Muirwa, you can also come in, but very, very quickly, there's something I want to tell you, colleagues. You know, for many, many years, we have known that most of the African governments invest in military, and there are less budgets in education and health and so on, and maybe infrastructure. But Even within those circumstances, what we are saying is, what kind of opportunities can be available? You know, we know people are helpless, but that's why we are holding these events. Having said this, we can't continue to look in one direction. We want to say, for those graduates, instead of them continuing to look for jobs which are not available, sit down and continue to lament about the governments which are not doing 1, 2, 3. What else can we do? That's the question. How else can we make sure we make our lives easier? The tradition of saying, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother was saying, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a doctor. It's that mindset which we want to. Those days, maybe the population was less, governments could afford, but now it's also to expect the governments to create employment for everyone. Then with automation, where some of the work that was done by humans is now being done by machines, I think there's a challenge there. I want to just quickly talk about a topic that we are going to cover in times to come. ICT-driven technology and non-ICT-driven technology. All these things can help us to maybe make the unemployed graduates and also the people who see that those who are still in the institutions change their mindsets so that they are not looking forward to be employed. Imagine for some of the programs, manually you churn out 1,000. Where are they going to be employed? Where? For one program. How about all the programs? So we need to say, while they are in the institutions and they are out, we have this a support system. That's why we are even having this event. We will try to bring a lot of youth on board so that when we have the youth on board, they can also pick ideas and run with them. It's very, very important. We are the adults, we are employed, but we see not everybody can be employed. So we need to change the mindsets for them to say, we want to start a business. Do we impacting the business skills, starting the business skills to the students who are in our institutions? Are we following the graduates to now say, we are offering this non-formal thing for you to start a business, to have the skills, because they also need those skills. Dr. Elizabeth, unmute yourself.
Yes. All right, thank you very much, Doctor. Can you hear me?
Which country?
Okay, Nigeria, question right precisely.
Oh, good.
Question State in Nigeria. Yes.
Okay.
I would sincerely appreciate the presenters and the organizers of this very webinar. I thought I was going to miss it, but thank God I am with him. I have gone through all this and I am very grateful to you all. My contribution or question format or maybe a suggestion, why we are looking at also having the interest of the colleges at heart, not thinking, having the mindset that it's maybe the dropout that the one that are going to colleges instead of the university. I kept telling my students today that I'm a proud product of the college. If I had not started from the college, I don't know what would have been of my life of education. So I value the college very well. So I think the curriculum planners have to really look into inclusive education for transformation. Not just, we know university is good, very okay, but it should not make the colleges look as if it's a place for the dropouts. All right. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but they just have to go back and draw the line. Now, if we're looking at curriculum, to even having all this thing into this thing. Everybody should go back to what is peculiar to their country, their own environment, not to just carry the white collar, the Western education and come and impose on the Africans. Because there are some certain things that are peculiar to the Africans. For instance, the location where I am, we have stones where they have the marbles, teas for this, the quarries and all of that. We have cocoa, so many things, products like that. There are some educational, if we have curriculum that can include what the raw materials that we have within, and people can start using their hands, and we have the machines, what is used, what can be used to producing those things, not just to go to the classroom and just teach somebody the theory. We need to draw the curtain to the practical. Because I was discussing this morning, sometimes we go to school and somebody will come out from school and be asking, what should I do? It ought not to be so. From your schooling, you should be able to have that practical orientation to start knowing what to do right from school, start making money. So our curriculum planners have to just go back to draw to the line and say they can bring in inclusive education, the one that can lead to transformation, by also including the classroom teachers. Because if only people in the offices sit down there to enact policies, they will not know what an experienced teacher in the classroom has been. I can categorically talk about the strength of my student because I've studied them. So if I want to speak or draft anything, I should be able to know what is peculiar. So please, those of you at the aim of affairs, help us speak to those that are implementing laws of inactive curriculum or planning. They should help us put inclusive with things that are peculiar to the country of one's educational background. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate this teaching once again.
So much. Thank you very much. You have raised a critical point that even when they are in the school, even when they are in school, it is important. Doctor, they are already putting into practice. I always also ask myself, when I was in junior school, I was taught how to make soap, how to make margarine. It was only theory. To now, I've never made a bar of soap. To now, I've never even made margarine. But the cooperative women in our villages and so on can do these things. So what are we saying about our education system? It should empower our students that even as they are learning, they are already picking something which can be useful to them. Thank you very much for your submission. Highly appreciated.
You're welcome.
Next, I saw somebody trying to unmute themselves. We want to acknowledge the presence of Prof. Mwene from Zambia. Yes, he's a founder of Supershine University. You are welcome. Sir Wilson or any of...
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much. It's always my pleasure to be there.
If there's anybody or our presenters, you can come in and chip in to react to some of these things. Sir Wilson,
yes,
do you have
ma'am.
something to say? Go ahead.
Sure. So I wanted to submit to a comrade who submitted an idea from Kenya. I really agree that there's so much challenge around how government is managing public funds. But as you said, I think we need to apply a different mindset. I know, for example, in Kenya, there is a communal initiative of working together to lay paved black roads from Maram to Black. And this is being done by a community. And I think the same is happening in Rwanda. For example, in Rwanda, you find government is giving like 40% and then the community contributes the remaining percentage. So that makes a room where people can be able to establish the kind of infrastructure they want to see. Because at the end of the day, they are the very people who are using the same road they are building. So we need to reduce maybe some sort of expectation we have from the government, because yes, we might have a good government, we might have a non-performing government, But shall we sit behind and wait until our government does something? It's up to us to take this up upon us really and champion the need we want to see. I mean, any mature people understand that whether you have a family or you have people that you have under your responsibility, you take initiative, fight hard to get the goods you need to supply to them. You will not wait for the third person to come in and really support. So, comrades, I want to submit that let us take it upon us and do what we can. And if we are lucky enough, the government will support. If they are not, we shall push beyond our limits and provide for the goods and the change we want to see. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We'll come to you, Dr. Domenita. But what I want to add on is that, honestly speaking, if your country does not prevent you from repairing a road or maintaining a road, which is used by a lot of your community people to ferry agricultural produce from the rural areas to town or so, you should go ahead and do it. The only challenge we have is that in some countries, even the sitting government will not allow you to patch a pothole. And that is a serious issue. But if you are permitted to do some of these things, honestly, the mindset change is needed to make sure that you come together and do things differently. We can't continue to sit and cry that nobody's coming to our rescue. And for those who are thinking of going overseas, they perish in the deserts and the seas. Why don't you think of using the money that you have to start something? Thank you. Dr. Domenita.
Okay. Thank you very much for this wonderful webinar. My question goes to the South African presenter. How do you link agricultural production with the market? Because here in Kenya, you find most of the farmers, they have the produce, but the market is not there. So you find one produces, he cannot sell, so he sells at a throwaway price. So next time he doesn't have the capacity to produce. So what technologies or what techniques is South African use production gets the market or gets market access to minimize the losses?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Domenita. I'm afraid Dr. Ngwenya has dropped off, but we are going to pass that question to her and it will be responded to. Anybody here can respond, but what I can quickly tell you is that that's why we were saying knowledge is important. We need to know the time when a product will be in short supply. But the problem is, at any one time, everybody's producing potatoes. Everybody's producing cabbages. So we want some people who check to say, what are the majority of people are focusing on right now? So if people are focusing on potatoes right now, and I know cabbages are in short supply, I do that. There is another issue of post-harvest losses, which we have raised, and also the issue of taking the market. There are two things I want to say. Somebody can even develop a platform where those who have got products and those who are looking for products can meet. And the person just pays a subsidy to be able to use the platform. And so these are some of the things that we need. If we can have that, that is good. We need people who can also develop the gadgets that we can also use to check on our post-harvest losses, mangoes, guavas. Can we not have dried mangoes and dried guavas? I think we have heard things like that. People drying mangoes, and now you can actually buy dried mangoes. You can buy dried fruits. And so It's multidimensional. That's why we are saying the whole value chain. What can we say about that value chain? It's important, but I think the solutions come from us. If we can have a student in ICT developing a platform where those who are looking for products, like I said, and those who are selling agricultural product, meet on a certain platform, then I think that will happen. Lobbying, it's Dr. Anthony, lobbying and advocacy will still be the Gen Z something is in the chat panel. I can read that one. Yes, will still be Gen Z and higher learning institutions. Yes, let's not forget the TVET colleges, and let's not forget the ordinary colleges of agriculture, colleges which are also offering the TVET courses. There are a lot. Dr. Elizabeth is saying, yeah, I really don't know why government is always against patching of potholes, even when an individual can help. They are saying, so what do you want to say to the people? That we are not doing the work and you think you are the good person who can do it all, and then you suffer for that. Sir Zebronchari from Eswatini is also saying, we have to change our mindset with regards to TVET colleges. I agree with you. We still think that it's only for those students who have failed to make it to university. That's true. But here in Ghana, the model that they are using is quite effective because they've established TVET junior and secondary schools. Those TVET junior and secondary schools, there are people who excel and they push them into the TVET colleges. And they are now also pushing them to the universities. We have in Ghana 10 technical universities, and those universities are now also training a lot of manpower who are going to teach in the TVET schools and teach in the TVET colleges. But still, the TVET university is there. So if we can advocate for such in our countries, it will do us a lot of good. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just share again before we conclude. The University of Ilorin is also doing a lot of work. Those in Nigeria, you can check and see in entrepreneurship. We have been working with them in that regard, and they've been doing well. Some of their students have been presenting their projects. We follow up to check that they are really doing them. Here we are even assessing, and this is what they do have. And we can come together. I think also that those who are graduates who are not employed and those students in the institutions, if we do the good things, the industry will support us. This is University of Ilorin. This is also GIMPA, the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. We have done a lot of with them, and they are moving. We also talk to students in the colleges and universities. This is one. It's in Dr. Ilalimani Technical University. It's a TVET university. This is a University of Education and Natural Resources. This is University of Namibia, where we had gone to do some work. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a lot. You can invite us to review your strategic plan. Like I told you, we work with the African Union in many, many ways. And here, this is in August this year, when we had the second interregional dialogue. Colleagues, this is the same meeting. We can do a lot with you. This was a strategic plan review with GIMPA. We did it also with University of Energy and Natural Resources. I don't want to lie to you. When is the Global Quality Assurance Association? We are doing the review. We are together also formulating a strategy to push what we are calling the action plan. We are putting people into teams, and we are making sure that the action plan is well understood by everyone with the outcomes and timelines. We can do this with you. You can invite us, and we can work together with you to make things happen. This is Kumasi Technical University. We are practical oriented. We make sure that by the time we leave, things have changed. This is Dr. Ilaliman Technical University, Sunyani Technical University. We have worked with them in quality assurance, in grant writing. Now they are actively involved in grant writing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have been to Eswatini as well for the starting of their institutional assessment and evaluation for self-improvement. Now they are working on those things. We work on research. It's important that we get data, we put it together, and then we have policy briefs. We also have publications and disseminations through this Global Quality Assurance Association initiative. We have lots of projects with schools as well. We go deep. We do renovations. We commission them with the assistance of the people. We collect books and distribute them. Library chairs, construction, and all these things. We help each other to do them. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop here. I want to thank our presenters. Sir Oma from the African Union Commission, Sir Wilson from Rwanda, Dr. Ngwenya from South Africa. We thank you for the knowledge and information that you have shared with everybody today. We also want to thank you who have attended and participated. We are on Facebook Live right now. And so, even after the event, if you go to Violet Makuku on Facebook, we are also going to push the link to our Global Quality Assurance Association Facebook page. You can share with many so that those who didn't attend this event are able to maybe follow up and check what they've missed from this event. But I want to tell you that it is not the first and last. We are still going to hold many more such events under the same theme, but looking at different aspects, which can help us to contribute towards job creation. That's our agenda. That's our aim. We aim to help the African Union Commission with dissemination. We aim to also assist in changing people's mindsets so that we have a lot of job creation. We have a lot of people gaining new skills on how they can start their own initiatives and endeavors. That is very, very important to us. At a point when we are able to do that, you will see that the whole continent is going to move. The whole continent is going to better and develop. Don't forget once again that you are here in this event that is the African Union and the Global Quality Assurance Association. I'm sorry for this. I just want to go back to that event so that we have once again the common knowledge, common understanding of what we are doing at the Global Quality Assurance Association and what we can still do together. We want people who will volunteer to come into the next segment, which is next month. We are going to do this on monthly basis. This is our event. Today, we have done beyond the African Union Commission's Africa Skills Week event. The event came and went 14 to 18 October 2024 in Accra, Ghana. Ghana hosted the event. STEM and technical vocational education and training Zoom webinars that have been initiated by the Global Quality Assurance Association in order to make sure that we are now responding to the African Union Commission's call to action. Part of the call to action is disseminating what transpired during that period of the Africa Skills Week. Another one also is to contribute towards the mindset change. And this is what we want to continue doing. But don't forget to be a member of the Global Quality Assurance Association. Again, we will still move on with the same theme, assurance in entrepreneurial and job creation skills for socio-economic development and transformation. Let's meet again. We will share with you when the next event is going to be. Next week, don't forget to join us on Tuesday when we are going to be on our event, which is Consult with Dr. Violet Makuku on any other issues that will be coming. We will send you the invites and we'll be together once again. I want to thank you all the participants who have been here with us, and we hope you will also share this knowledge and information as well as what we have done here, the existence of the Global Quality Assurance to many. Sir Wilson, thank you from Rwanda. Dr. Zamini, thank you from South Africa. And Sir Nicholas, a representative of the African Union Commission, we want to thank you. We can open our cameras so that we can just take a photo. Dr. Pauline, it's good meeting you online. It has been very good. Let's quickly put on our cameras. We are going to take a photo. Say Mamudu, all the way from Gambia, say Madam Gloria, say Joshua, I think is Zimbabwe. Aliu, maybe Nigeria, am I right? Say Aliu. And we have many more. Let's put on our cameras. Dr. Doris Njoka, all the way, say Gerard, Copperline University. Copperline, we have the Vice Chancellor for Copperline University. Please, thank you for joining us. We are so happy. So it means we have a number of Vice Chancellors here whom I'm not maybe aware of that they are on the platform. Thank you. You are the decision makers and it makes us proud. We are very glad. Maybe Sangwenya, I'm not sure which university. Thank you so much. You are the decision makers. You are the ones who push the institutions. Please, do we have other vice chancellors and registrars and deans here? Just to know, you can put up your hands. It's very good that you have joined us. We hope that for other subsequent events, you are still going to be with us. Allow me to take photo number 1. Yes. Dr. Joyce Okayo, as usual, you are with us. We are proud to be with you. Yesterday, we were together again in one of these fora, which is very good because you keep abreast. I'm taking the photos again. Yes. Right. Right. Thank you very much once again for joining us. Let's meet in the next episodes. Please, Vice Chancellor Copaline, can you send me a hello? I think it's +233. If you have a pen to write my WhatsApp number once again, so that we can catch up. I'm glad about this +233. All those who can communicate with me directly on WhatsApp, 263-129798. My WhatsApp number +233 263 129798. Let's catch up and see what we can do together. Sister Irene, I'm very glad to note that you are also on the platform. We were together. We are pushing the agenda. Dr. Nathaniel Festus Moshudu is a goodbye. Glorimba, Dr. Okayo, Sir Joshua, Sir Mamudu, Dr. Pauline Osoka, our founder, Prof. Omedi, Mwene Zambia. You know, Dr. Isoka is Nigeria. All the way we have Ngwenya. Thank you, Sir Gerard. Thank you. Madam Edith, Dr. Edith Matema, Women's University. Thank you, Dr. Domenita. Thank you, Benjamin, Kelvin, Doris, Kadonsi, Scholastic, Moshudu, all of you, Zipporah. We are very grateful. It wouldn't be an event without you. Sifelani. Yes, who else haven't I called now? Associate Professor. I don't know who this associate professor is. Then Bonaventure, we thank you. Let's meet Dr. Elizabeth in the next segment. Make sure if you are not on WhatsApp with us, you get hold of us, and together we can do a lot of good things. I hope we are going to change our curricula in the institutions, but we are also going to make sure we go for community engagement to talk about these things with those who are outside the universities. For now, it's a bye-bye to all of you, wishing you the best. We are live on Facebook, Violet Makuku. You can get there, share the links with many, so that maybe you can review curricula or think of designing new programs from the Global Quality Assurance Association webinars. I'm grateful. Bye-bye.